You're pouring $45 full synthetic oil into your Toyota, Honda, or Nissan, thinking you're giving that Japanese engine the best protection money can buy. But here's what the bottle will never tell you. That oil may have never seen the inside of a laboratory. It came out of the ground, got refined, and got stamped with the word synthetic, because a court ruling in the 1990s made that completely legal in America. Japanese mechanics know this. And the reason your engine might still be burning oil, Sumit, even after you switch to full synthetic, could be exactly this. Today I'm exposing which 10 brands are doing this, why it matters for Toyota, Honda, Nissan, and Mazda engines, and what Japanese technicians actually recommend instead. Why this matters more for Japanese engines. Motor oils are built on base stocks. The API classifies them into 5 groups. Groups 1, 2, and 3 come from crude oil refined to different levels of purity. Groups 4 and 5 are true synthetics, molecules chemically engineered in a laboratory. Group 4 is PAO, polyalpha olefin, uniform molecules, better temperature resistance, longer oxidation stability, stable viscosity under stress. Group 3 is crude oil put through hydrocracking, better than groups 1 and 2, but still refined petroleum, not synthesized molecules. In 1997, a US court ruled Group 3 could legally be called synthetic because hydrocracking significantly changes its properties. That single ruling changed the entire industry, and it is why you get misled every time you stand in that aisle. Why does this matter more for Japanese engines? Toyota and Honda build to extremely tight tolerances, speccing their oils to JASO and ILSAC standards. In turbocharged engines like the GR86, Civic Type R, or Nissan Z, the difference in film strength and thermal stability between Group 3 and PAO is real. Eneos Full Synthetic, US market. You see the word Japanese on the label and you feel confident. Because if there's one thing Japanese car owners trust, it's a Japanese brand that understands how Japanese engines work. And Eneos is a real Japanese company, founded in 1888, listed on the Tokyo Stock Exchange, active in petroleum refining, lubricant production, and even renewable energy. The parent company, Eneos Holdings, generates over $80 billion in annual revenue. They are enormous in Japan. But here's where the problem starts. The US market formulations of Eneos Full Synthetic are built on Group 3 base oil. Eneos describes this themselves on their own product pages. High-performance hydro-refined base oils. That is the exact language used for Group 3. Not PAO, not lab-synthesized molecules. Refined petroleum that has been put through a hydrocracking process. Even the newest X Prime line explicitly states high-performance hydro-refined base oils as its foundation. Those are Eneos' own words on their own website. The viscosity index numbers on US Eneos products land consistently in the 130 to 140 range. Exactly what you expect from a well-processed Group 3 oil, and noticeably below the 150+ range you see with genuine PAO-based products. What Eneos supplies to factories in Japan and what their Japanese domestic market formulations contain is a separate conversation. But what you buy at an American auto parts store is not the same chemistry that the brand name implies. You are paying for a reputation built on Japanese domestic market engineering while receiving a US product with different base oil chemistry. The quality control is legitimate, the additive packages are competent, it passes API SP certification, but it is not PAO, and the Japanese positioning on the packaging strongly implies otherwise. Idemitsu Full Synthetic, US market. Idemitsu is the brand that most completely illustrates this problem, which is why it deserves its own entry. In Japan, Idemitsu is a genuinely respected name in the lubricants industry. Honda and Subaru have recommended Idemitsu products as OEM suitable choices. When American enthusiasts discovered this, the brand built a strong following in the import car community, specifically because those OEM associations implied that Idemitsu understood what Japanese engines actually need. The reality of the US market formulations tells a different story. Idemitsu's technical data sheets for their American products were to reference hydroprocessed base stocks as their base oil. That is the specific language companies use when they want to accurately describe Group 3 without writing the words Group 3 in a place where consumers might search for it. Same brand name, same logo, same OEM association language in the marketing. Different chemistry in the bottle sold at American auto parts stores. The mechanism here is subtle but powerful. A Honda or Subaru owner sees Idemitsu and thinks, this is what the factory uses. But the OEM recommendation in Japan refers to specific formulations for the Japanese market. It does not automatically transfer to every bottle Idemitsu sells globally. And if you are buying Idemitsu because you believe that Honda and Subaru OEM association directly translates to PAO chemistry in US bottles, the first thing you should do is look up the technical data sheet for the specific US product, not the Japanese product. Not the marketing material, the USTDS. The additive packages are solid, the oil meets API specifications, but it is Group 3, and the price does not reflect that honestly. Castrol Edge Full Synthetic, Formula 1 sponsorships, Fluid Titanium Technology, Premium Packaging. Castrol Edge is on the shelf at every AutoZone, every Walmart, every Jiffy Lube in America. Let's start with the titanium story, because it is the most clever piece of marketing on this list. Fluid titanium technology refers to titanium-based additives in the additive package, not the base oil structure itself. The titanium is in the additives. The base oil is primarily Group 3, refined petroleum that has gone through a hydrocracking process. The additive package is genuinely sophisticated technology. The oil passes API SP certification. Castrol is not a company that produces junk, but you are paying over $10 per quart for Group 3 oil that is dressed up in decades of marketing spend and Formula 1 imagery. For owners of Japanese vehicles, there is a second layer to this story. Castrol Edge in the standard retail formulation does not automatically meet Toyota's WS transmission fluid specification or Honda's HTO-06 spec. Castrol produces separate formulations for those specific OEM requirements. The full synthetic label on the main engine oil bottle tells you nothing about whether that specific chemistry matches what Toyota or Honda actually designed your engine around. This is a point most people miss. API SP certification and OEM specific approval are two entirely different things. An oil can be certified and still fall short of the exact specifications your Japanese engine needs for optimal performance. For normal commuter driving with changes every 5,000 to 7,500 miles, Castrol Edge is functionally adequate, but you are buying it based on a reputation built on a chemical story that does not fully hold up. Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic. This is the entry that upsets people the most when they discover it, not because of what it is, but because of what it used to be. The older Valvoline SynPower formula used PAO as its base oil. That product had the chemistry to fully back up the synthetic claim. Mechanics trusted it. Enthusiasts on forums proved its performance through used oil analysis. It was a product with a real reputation built on real chemistry. Then Valvoline reformulated. Quietly. No press release. No announcement on the packaging. No communication to consumers or dealers. The current advanced full synthetic line uses Group 3 base oil. Valvoline's technical data sheets confirm the use of hydroprocessed base stocks in their current synthetic formulations. The viscosity index numbers sit consistently in the Group 3 range, not at PAO levels. The bottle still says full synthetic. The price still reflects premium positioning. The brand still trades on 150 years of heritage. Most consumers have no idea the formulation changed. This is the pattern that repeats across the entire industry. A product builds a reputation on superior chemistry, then gets quietly reformulated to cheaper base oil while the marketing stays identical. The reputation outlasts the chemistry that earned it. This is not unique to Valvoline, but the contrast between the old SynPower formula and what is currently in the bottle makes it one of the clearest examples of how a brand name can carry a quality signal long after the product behind it changed. If you are running Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic based on something you read or heard from a trusted source, check when that information was from. If it predates the reformulation, you are buying on outdated information. Quaker State Ultimate Durability Full Synthetic. Ultimate Durability. Take a moment with those two words. The highest possible protection that chemistry allows. That is what the name implies. That name is doing an enormous amount of work for a Group 3 formulation. Here's the context you need to understand this properly. Shell owns both Quaker State and Pennzoil. Same parent company, same engineering resources. But Shell's flagship synthetic technology, the GTL base oil used in Pennzoil Platinum, derived from natural gas through the Fischer-Tropsch process, is not what fills Quaker State Ultimate Durability. That GTL technology stays in the Pennzoil bottles. Quaker State gets Group 3 in a name that implies something better. This is a deliberate portfolio decision by Shell. Pennzoil is the premium channel. Quaker State serves the mass volume segment. They do not truly compete with each other. They serve different consumer segments with intentionally differentiated products under the same parent company. The GTL technology that distinguishes Pennzoil Platinum is a real differentiator, and that differentiator is carefully protected within the brand hierarchy. For you as a consumer, this means if you are buying Quaker State driven by the Ultimate Durability name, you are buying branding. If you are buying Pennzoil Platinum, you are buying GTL technology that is genuinely different from standard Group 3. Ultimate on a Group 3 product is a name that bridges a gap that does not exist in the bottle. The word Ultimate belongs to the marketing team, not to the base oil chemist. Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic. This one requires more careful explanation, because Pennzoil Platinum is genuinely different, and you deserve accuracy. Pennzoil Platinum uses GTL base oil. Gas to liquid, derived from natural gas through the Fischer-Tropsch synthesis process. This is a real chemical distinction. GTL is not standard Group 3 from crude oil. It has exceptionally low sulfur content, a very consistent molecular structure, and better oxidation stability than conventional Group 3. The industry sometimes calls it Group 3+. That is a fair description. GTL genuinely outperforms standard Group 3 on multiple measurable parameters. This is not marketing language, it is chemistry. Here's the but you need to understand. GTL is not PAO. These are two separate chemistries with different molecular structures. PAO still holds a performance advantage under extreme thermal conditions, particularly at the high temperatures generated around turbocharger bearings. Pennzoil Platinum is better than standard Group 3. It is not equivalent to PAO, and yet it carries the identical full synthetic label as everything from Group 3 to actual PAO. For turbocharged Japanese engines, the GR Corolla, Honda Civic Type R, Subaru WRX, this distinction is measurably relevant. Turbos generate intense heat around the bearings during and after hard driving. The thermal stability difference between PAO, GTL, and standard Group 3 is not an abstract discussion in that operating environment. Pennzoil Platinum is not a scam. It is a legitimately superior product compared to standard Group 3, but the full synthetic label on the bottle does not show you that a hierarchy exists where PAO sits an entire level above it. Store brands: Supertech, Amazon Basics, Kirkland Signature. This might be the most honest section on this entire list, and that is a damning statement about the premium brands above it. Supertech, Walmart House Brand, Amazon Basics Motor Oil, and Kirkland Signature, Costco all use Group 3 base oil. All three are priced low enough that you immediately recognize them as budget products. Supertech runs around $22 for 5 quarts. Real PAO chemistry is not possible at that price point. Group 4 PAO costs significantly more to produce, and those costs get passed directly to the consumer. The price is telling you the truth, the label is not. What actually makes these brands more honest than most of the premium brands on this list? They do not charge a premium price for their Group 3 oil. They position themselves as value options. There is no marketing implying you are getting superior protection. There is no Formula 1 sponsorship or Japanese factory association creating an expectation the bottle cannot deliver. For normal commuter driving with oil changes every 5,000 to 7,500 miles, these oils are adequate. Your engine will reach 200,000 miles on Supertech if you change it regularly. The gap between Group 3 and PAO is minimal in that driving context. Buy them if you want, but buy them knowing they are Group 3, not assuming that full synthetic means something it does not. The store brand is not the problem here. The problem is the premium brands charging PAO prices for the same base oil chemistry. Ravenol standard synthetic lines, VSW, VMP. Ravenol is German, and that association does real marketing work with Japanese car owners who also trust European engineering precision. A German company making oil for high-tolerance engines sounds like exactly what a Honda or Toyota needs. Here's the nuance that Ravenol should communicate more clearly than they do. The Ravenol Vibe ST and VSE lines use PAO and ester-base oil, genuine Group 4 and Group 5 chemistry. If you are buying Ravenol VST or VSE, you are actually getting what the brand reputation implies. Those products earn their price point. Used oil analysis from enthusiasts consistently backs up their performance claims. This is not in dispute. The problem is the standard lines, VSW, VMP, and other mainstream formulations. Those are Group 3. Same brand name, same German flag on the packaging, same association with precision engineering. Different base oil. Ravenol does not proactively make this distinction clear on the packaging. The product names give you little to go on. VST and VSE mean PAO and esters. VSW and the standard lines mean Group 3. Unless you know what to look for in the technical data sheet, you may be buying a Group 3 product based on a brand that built its reputation on PAO and ester formulations. The lesson from Ravenol applies across this entire list. Brand name alone tells you nothing about what is in that specific bottle. Within the Ravenol portfolio, it comes down to the specific product code, not the flag on the label. Quick lube chain house brands: Jiffy Lube, Take 5, Valvoline Instant Oil Change. This is where the Group 3 issue becomes most financially significant, because you are paying for a complete service at full premium synthetic pricing, and the oil going into your engine is determined by what that chain decided to source that quarter. Quick lube chains source their house brand synthetic oil in bulk from contract manufacturers. Group 3, purchased at commodity bulk pricing. They brand it with their own labels, train staff to call it full synthetic, which is legally accurate, and charge full premium synthetic service prices. The margin is substantial. That margin is a core part of the business model. There is no fraudulent claim being made here. Full synthetic is legally correct for Group 3, but the pricing structure suggests a quality level that the base oil chemistry does not fully support. For Japanese vehicles, there is an additional dimension. Toyota requires specific oil weights and API certifications for warranty compliance. A generic house brand full synthetic at a quick lube may or may not meet those exact specifications, and the technician writing your service ticket may genuinely not know. If you have a turbocharged engine like the GR Corolla or Civic Type R, full synthetic under our house brand is not a sufficient answer. Always ask specifically which brand and product they use before they start. If they cannot give you a concrete product name, that is information you need before you hand over your money. And if the answer is a house brand you have never heard of, look it up before assuming it meets what your specific engine requires. Mobil 1 Extended Performance. Standard retail lines. Wait, Mobil 1? The brand that invented synthetic motor oil in America? Yes, and this is exactly why it sits at number 1. The original Mobil 1 formula used PAO exclusively as its base oil. That was the product that built the reputation. It was the factory fill in Corvettes starting in 1992. Mobil 1 was so convinced of the distinction between PAO and Group 3 that they took Castrol to court in 1997 for labeling Group 3 oil as synthetic. They lost that case. And then ExxonMobil did the exact same thing. An internal presentation document that later became public, dated somewhere between 2005 and 2009, confirmed that ExxonMobil began adjusting Mobil 1 formulations to include a proprietary Group 3 plus base stock called Visum alongside PAO. The document stated explicitly, with the exception of Germany, this reformulation will be invisible to consumers and B2B customers, and there will be no proactive customer communication relating to this reformulation. The brand that defined what synthetic should mean and sued a competitor for violating that definition was now selling products under the same label that would have failed their own 1997 legal standard. More recently, technical datasheet analysis shared across enthusiast forums shows that with the Dexos 1 Gen 3 reformulation, PAO content in several Mobil 1 extended performance grades was significantly reduced, with Group 3 making up the majority of the base oil blend in some viscosity grades. Certain Mobil 1 formulations, including the FS0W40 and specific ESP lines, retain higher PAO content. But the standard retail lines that most people pick up off the shelf at Walmart are not the same product that built this brand's reputation. The name is the same, the chemistry is not. Does it actually matter for your Japanese engine? It depends on how you drive. Normal commuting with changes every 5,000 to 7,500 miles. Group 3 is adequate. Your Camry or Accord will hit 200,000 miles without issues. The gap between Group 3 and PAO here is minimal. Extended drains beyond 10,000 miles. PAO holds viscosity longer and resists oxidation better through the full interval. Turbocharged engines. GR Corolla, Civic Type R, WRX, Nissan Z, this is where PAO matters most. Turbo bearings generate intense heat. Group 3 breaks down faster in that environment. High mileage engines burning oil. PAO's lower volatility and better film strength directly reduce consumption. That is chemistry, not marketing. How to know what you're actually buying? Look for explicit PAO disclosure. No mention anywhere. Assume Group 3. Check the price. Real PAO runs $40 to $55 for 5 quarts. Read the technical data sheet. Hydroprocessed base stocks means Group 3. Check the viscosity index. PAO sits at 140 to 180, Group 3 at 120 to 135. What Japanese mechanics actually use. Amsoil Signature Series. PAO and ester-based stocks, around $50 to $55. Redline Full Synthetic. PAO and esters. Trusted for turbocharged applications. Motul 8100. Documented PAO chemistry, legitimate OEM approvals. Toyota Genuine Motor Oil. Formulated to exactly what Toyota engineers designed your engine around. You now know what the label never tells you. Drop a comment with what you have been running, and subscribe, because next week we cover exactly which oil weight Japanese factory technicians recommend for high mileage engines.